A baby kept pressing his face against the wall every single hour, always the exact same spot. His father thought it was just a weird face. But when the child finally spoke, he said 3 words that made everything horrifyingly clear. And the truth was absolutely terrifying. Before you watch any further, smash that like button and subscribe so you never miss another story that hits you like this one. Drop a comment real quick. Tell me where you're watching from and what time it is right now. One ordinary morning, Ethan, just 1 year old, walked straight into the corner of his bedroom and planted his face flat against the wall. He stood there, completely still. No sound. No movement. His dad, David, gently pulled him away. But exactly 1 hour later, Ethan did it again. And again. And again. By nightfall it was happening every single hour on the hour. He would suddenly turn, walk silently to that wall, and smash his little face against it like he was trying to disappear. No giggles. No toys. Just frozen silence. Sometimes 30 seconds. Sometimes a full minute, until someone carefully peeled him away. David had been raising Ethan alone ever since his wife died giving birth. He tried everything to figure out what was wrong. Doctors shrugged, just a phase. But deep down David knew, this didn't feel like any phase. Over the next few days he started noticing something that turned his stomach. Every single time, it was the exact same corner. The exact same spot on the wall. He moved the crib. Moved the dresser. Checked for mold, dampness, drafts. Nothing. Something was wrong with that corner. Something cold. Something wrong. David began sitting in the nursery at night just to watch Ethan sleep. The behavior never happened during naps. Only when Ethan was awake. Only when David wasn't staring directly at him. Then came the scream that stopped his heart. 2:14 a.m. The baby monitor exploded with a blood-curdling, piercing scream. David flew out of bed, pulse hammering. He burst into the nursery. Ethan was back in the corner again, face crushed against the wall, tiny fists balled up, whole body trembling violently. David snatched him up. "You're safe. You're safe, buddy." Ethan clawed at his dad's shirt, desperately trying to twist around and face the wall again. That was the first night David broke down crying. The next morning he called a child psychologist. "I know this sounds insane," he told her, "but I think my baby is trying to tell me something he can't say yet. And it's scaring me to death." Dr. Mitchell came to the house the very next day. She observed Ethan, played gently with him, spoke softly. Eventually he walked, again, to that same corner and pressed his face to the wall. Dr. Mitchell's face changed. She looked at David quietly. "Has anyone else been in this house since your wife passed?" "No," he said. "Just babysitters. None lasted more than a month." Ethan cried every time one entered the room. They all quit. She asked if she could observe Ethan alone for a few minutes, through a one-way mirror in her office. David hesitated, but agreed. The second David left the room, Ethan didn't cry. He simply walked to the corner and turned his face to the wall again. A few quiet minutes passed. Then soft sounds started. Mumbling. Tiny baby sounds. Dr. Mitchell leaned closer, eyes wide. When David returned, she was pale. "He spoke actual words," she whispered. David blinked. "He can barely say mama yet." "I know," she said. "But I'm certain he said, don't want her back." The room went dead silent. David felt his knees weaken. Ethan sat on the floor, still facing the wall. David crouched beside him, voice shaking. "Ethan, who? Who don't you want to come back?" Endless silence. Then, slowly, so slowly, the little boy turned. Those wide blue eyes locked onto his father's. Ancient. Terrified. Full of tears about to fall. The temperature in the room seemed to drop. In the smallest, ghost-like whisper, Ethan said 3 words that would live inside David's skull forever. "The wall lady." Time stopped. David's heart didn't just skip, it broke. The air vanished from the room. His baby, barely able to speak, had just named something no child that age should ever have to name. Dr. Mitchell looked shaken. "This could be trauma," she said. "You said the babysitters quit quickly." David's mind raced. There was one. Amanda. Only 1 week. Ethan wouldn't sleep. Wouldn't eat when she was around. "Do you still have any baby monitor recordings from back then?" David's blood turned to ice. The cloud backup. Of course. With shaking hands he opened old files. Most were deleted. Empty folders. One single surviving clip from 8 months earlier. He clicked play. Grainy black and white. A tall woman in a dark sweater walks in. Too calm. Too smooth. Ethan is on the floor playing happily with blocks. The moment she gets close, Ethan freezes. Every tiny muscle locks. Then he scrambles, pure panic, into the corner and slams his face against the wall. The woman stands there, watching, and then she smiles. Not a human smile. A nightmare smile. She steps closer, bends down, whispers something right at the wall where Ethan's face is buried. Ethan's body starts shaking harder. Then she does something worse. She grabs his shoulders, forces him to stay pressed against the wall, holds him there. Almost 3 full minutes. When she finally releases him, she pats his head like he's a pet, and walks out. David almost dropped the laptop. Dr. Mitchell finished the thought. That's why he said, "Don't want her back. This is abuse, David. This is trauma. You have to report it now." David stood up. "No one is ever hurting my son again." He called the agency. They admitted Amanda used fake ID. Number disconnected. No trace. David hired a private investigator. 2 days later the man came back with a file. Real name, Amanda Judith Morrison. Criminal record. Multiple reports from 3 families in 2 states, aggressive behavior toward children. 1 case still open. She moves cities, the investigator said. Fake papers. Different agencies. Target single dads who work long shifts. David felt physically sick. Police were called immediately. They found her. She was babysitting for another family 2 towns over. Arrested within 48 hours. That night Ethan refused to sleep in the nursery. David moved the crib into his own bedroom. For the first time in weeks, Ethan slept peacefully. Until 3:07 a.m. David woke to a faint sound. Ethan was gone from the crib. He was standing in the hallway, face against the wall again. "Ethan." David ran. The little boy turned, lips trembling. "She's back," he whispered. David scooped him up, shaking. "No, baby. No. She's gone. Police took her. She can never come back." He rocked him. "Just a bad dream. Just a memory. You're safe with Daddy." The next morning David made a decision. That nursery couldn't stay the way it was. He called Dr. Mitchell. Together they planned a complete reset. New bright yellow paint. New furniture. New curtains. New layout. That cursed corner now held the toy chest covered in dinosaur and rocket stickers. Play therapy started. Dr. Mitchell helped Ethan process the fear in toddler ways. Slowly, Ethan came back. More laughter. More playing. No more corners. 3 weeks after the arrest, David was cooking when he heard giggles. He walked in. Ethan was stacking the same colorful blocks from that awful video. Smiling. Clapping every time the tower fell. David cried again. This time, tears of pure relief. Months later the DA's office called. Amanda faced multiple counts of child endangerment and abuse. More families came forward. Prison time was certain. David didn't feel like he'd won. He just felt thankful. Thankful he trusted his gut. Thankful he never stopped listening to his son. On Ethan's 2nd birthday, David knelt in the bright, happy nursery that no longer carried any shadows. "You're the bravest kid in the world," he whispered. "And you're safe now. Always." Ethan laughed, clapped, and ran to his new toys. But some nights, David still wakes up and checks on him. Not because he believes in ghosts, but because he knows the real monsters walk on 2 legs. And a father's only job is to keep them far away from his child. Did you feel this story? If your baby whispered about a wall lady, would you believe him? Yes or no? Tell me in the comments. If this hit you, drop a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thanks for staying till the end. See you in the next one. Have a good day. Red Heart.